The sun beat down on the mud brick ramparts of Axie Fort, the air alive with the fluttering wings and soft cooing of pigeons. Below, the Fergana Valley stretched out like a rumpled carpet of green orchards and dusty plains, disappearing into the hazy embrace of distant mountains. For 11-year-old Zahir-ud-din Muhammad, this was the vibrant, beating heart of his world. His father, Umar Sheikh Mirza, king of Fergana, was a man of boundless, sometimes reckless energy. Today, that energy was focused entirely on his prized pigeons, their aerial acrobatics, a source of immense delight. He laughed, a booming sound that echoed off the ancient walls as a flock wheeled and dived. "Look, Zahir!" he called. "See how that tumbler falls? Strategy! Boy, like a warrior." Zahir, small for his age but with eyes that missed nothing, would offer a dutiful smile. He appreciated his father's passion, but his own heart leaned towards the quiet companionship of his charcoal and worn leather-bound notebook. Under the gentle guidance of his tutor, Ustad Yusuf, he tried to capture the elegant curve of a wing, the subtle shift of feathers in the wind. Like a well-crafted verse, Mirza Zahir, Ustad Yusuf would murmur, "Every part has its purpose." Umar Sheikh, ever proud, would often remind Zahir of his lineage. "We are descended from the great Emir Timur, your mother, from Genghis Khan himself. Greatness flows in your veins, boy." He'd ruffle Zahira's hair, a gesture of rough affection that Zahira accepted with a quiet squirm. But even in this sun-drenched idyll, shadows lurk. Sheikh Mazid Beg, his father's trusted but increasingly anxious advisor, would bring news of restless uncles and the ever-present threat of Sultan Ahmed Mirza of whose ambitions stretched towards Fergana's borders. Umar Sheikh would wave away these concerns with the same flourish he used to launch his pigeons. "Vultures, all of them!" he'd scoffed, sometimes leaning precariously over the parapet of the Dovecote, built dangerously close to the edge of a deep ravine to track a favorite bird. A knot of unease would tighten in Zahir's chest whenever he saw his father, so cavalier with his own safety. One afternoon, as Zahir practiced archery in the courtyard, his arrows thudding with satisfying accuracy into a straw target, the familiar peace was shattered. A guard, pale and breathless, stumbled towards them. "Ustaji Mirza, Sahib," he gasped. "Terrible news! The Padishah Zahir's bow clattered to the ground." "My father," he whispered, his heart suddenly a frantic drum against his ribs. "The Dovecote, it collapsed into the ravine," the guard stammered, his voice raw. "The Padishah, he was with his pigeons." The world seemed to tilt and roar in Zahir's ears. Ustad Yusuf's hand gripped his shoulder, a steadying pressure, but Zahir felt himself adrift in a sea of numb disbelief. His father, so full of life, so vibrant, gone! The arrow he'd been about to nock slipped from his numb fingers. Night fell on a transformed Axie. The small throne room, usually echoing with his father's pronouncements, was now filled with hushed whispers and the quiet, dignified sobs of his mother. Her face, framed by lamplight, was etched with grief. Yet beneath it lay a steely resolve, a testament to the Genghis Khanid blood that flowed in her veins. Zahir stood before her in the assembled bags, the nobles of Fergana, feeling impossibly small and lost in oversized mourning clothes. His eyes were fixed on the modest, now empty throne. The Padishah Umar Sheikh Mirza, peace be upon him, has departed this world. Sheikh Mazid Beg announced, his voice heavy. "Fergana is without a king." A murmur of fear and uncertainty rippled through the room. Eyes, a mixture of pity, apprehension, and cold calculation, turned towards Zahir. But Konomji Beg ventured. "He is but a child." "The vultures," as the late Padishah called them, "will descend." Kutlu Nigah Khanam's gaze, though tear-filled, flashed with fire. "My son Zahir-ud-din Muhammad is the heir," she declared, her voice trembling but firm. "He is of the blood of Timur and Genghis. He will rule." Then, Softo, he has courage. He has wisdom beyond his years. Haven't you seen it? Zahir looked at his mother, drawing a sliver of strength from her unwavering belief. He remembered his father's booming words. Greatness flows in your veins. He thought of the valley, his valley now vulnerable. He took a deep breath, the scent of dust and old wood filling his lungs, and stepped forward. The room fell silent. My father, he began, his voice, though carrying a surprising firmness that cut through the hushed anxiety, loved Fergana. He loved his people. I will honor his memory. I will defend what is ours. He met the eyes of Sheikh Mazed Beg, then scanned the faces of the other nobles. Some looked down, perhaps shamed by the bravery of a boy. Others held his gaze, a new, dawning respect in their expressions. As dawn painted the sky in hues of rose and gold, Zahir stood alone on the ramparts, not far from the jagged wound where the Dovecote had been. The ravine below was a sea of mist. He clutched the small, worn notebook his father had often dismissed, his pages filled with his careful sketches. The Fergana Valley, his kingdom, stretched before him, vast, beautiful, and terrifying. He was no longer just Zahir, the boy who sketched pigeons and dreamed of poetry. The weight of a crown, unseen but palpable, settled upon his small shoulders. A single tear, hot and sharp, traced a path down his cheek, but his jaw was set, his gaze fixed on the rising sun. The childhood idol was shattered, lost in the rubble of a collapsed dovecote. In its place, a new identity was being forged. He was Babur, the tiger, the boy king, and his incredible, tumultuous story was just beginning.